Indicators. These are tools, little charts, little plots that stock people use to make predictions to tell what's going to happen, whether they should buy and sell. Um, and there's 5 reasons why my system makes better, really good use of indicators. I think some of them it's pretty unique compared to what other people do. One, physics. They're physics based and calculus based. Two, I look at multiple indicators, um, and but yet I'm able to third reason is take these multiple indicators and make a composite or summary of them. So what you're really just looking at is not complicated. The biggest reason why people don't use lots of indicators is because it gets too complicated trying to analyze them all together. So the third reason is my strategy is to take a composite, make one composite indicator of all the different strategies, so it's not too complicated to look at. Um, Another reason is because each algorithm has an indicator that I look at. Um, I look at several factors and determine the indicator. So there's the basic indicator. It's called the RSI indicator. I use that as the basis. But then I look at other things like did the price of the stock go up? Did the price of the stock go down? And other things like the VWAP, which I'll get into in a second. So use lots of factors, and that's all built into my program. Um, and lastly, there's what they call the VWAP indicator, volume weighted average price. I'll get into more of that, but I've written a unique. There's a standard VWAP indicator, and I've taken that and modified it and made it unique. So those are the 5 reasons what my system uses. Okay, so this is basically the physics of it. Think of physics, the branch of physics called kinetics, which is something in motion. In stocks, the thing in motion is the price. How does it move is important in predicting what's going to happen in the future. So, for example, in this one you have distance, velocity, acceleration. That's physics. To get velocity is the distance over time. Acceleration is the velocity over time. To use calculus, velocity is derivative of the distance. Acceleration is derivative of velocity. So the bottom line is when you try to you want to find out when the peak of the price is. In other words, the distance right here, right? The distance. That's be like corollary to the price of the stock. That's when you would sell high, so you'd sell here. So you do is you look at the acceleration chart, and what it's saying is when the really over here, you follow the line up. The curve is coming. It's starting to come to a peak, and the acceleration chart indicator in stocks, it's not really this long, broad thing. It's like a sharp thing. So when it gets to be a sharp point, it's like okay, it's getting ready to. The price is getting ready to get a peak. Okay. So that's the physics part. Okay, so I want to talk to you about the RSI indicator, which is one of the indicators I use. That's my favorite. And the guy that taught me this was Alessio Rastani. He's stockbroker, I don't know how to say it, strategist, yeah, from Britain, and he just has these short little videos that he gives little hints, and so he uses the RSI indicator with for like more like day trading or really, which is what I'm doing sort of, but the key is this using the length is equal to 2, and what that length is has to do with the average. So if you want to look at an average, what is the price of gas over the last year? The average price of gas, for example, you might look at the average price of over 12 different months, and then average the 12 months together and come up with the yearly average. In this case, he's looking at the length of RSI indicator's length of 2, which is basically looking at 2 bars, 2 candles in the stock market. And as a result, when you set the length to 2, you get this green curve down here, which is the RSI curve. And Alessio says, hey, when it gets down towards the bottom, this is a 5% level, towards the 5% level, that's at the bottom of the stock price. And the stock price has hit the bottom, and now it's going to start moving up. And you'll see that, sure enough, the price moved up. Let's look at this one. Here is another one where the RSI is near the 5% level, this light blue line, and sure enough, the price has hit a bottom, and now the price is going up. Here's another one. It's hit the 5%. The price is down here, hit the 5% level, and there's the bottom of the stock, and the stock's starting to go up. Conversely, when the stock price hits a high here, that means the price is going down. So here's a high on RSI. Now we look at the stock price, and it went down the next bar. What's interesting here is that this dashed line means it's the end of a day. So you look at the RSI price at the end of the day, and it's near the top. So you say, hey, there's a good chance that I'm going to predict that the price is going down tomorrow. So even if the price, let's say you're at the end of the day and the price wasn't right at the 95% level, you know it's above the middle line, right? So you can say the odds are that it's going to go down tomorrow, because at the end of the day, the prediction for tomorrow, it will be amplified greatly. So even if it's not at the 95% level, it's going to go down. Other things you can look at for the RSI, see this, the RSI is sloping up and the price is sloping up. So at the end of the day, is the price sloping up? That'll give you a clue. Same thing here. Notice the price is sloping up. Well, anyway, so you can look at the price of the stock. And so some of the things you can look at is the price sloping up? Is the indicator, the RSI indicator, sloping up? Is the RSI indicator above the medium line? And whether the price of stock up here is above or below what we call the VWAP, I'll get into next. And so I put my program takes all these factors in consideration and comes up with a final prediction whether the stock's going to go up or down, and it'll give you little arrows based on all these indicators. And so I put all these different variables into a table, and then I put it into a truth table, and I come up with an algorithm equation that I code into my program. And that's just for one. This is just an example of for RSI indicator. I said I got like 7 of them, so right at this time I'm writing this. Lastly, I want to talk to you about a VWAP. VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. And volume is very important. Stock traders, lots and lots of stock traders will talk about volume on YouTube, so it's key. If you have, for example, low volume, and you want to sell your stock, okay, volume by definition is how many shares are either selling or buying. There's lots of shares either being bought or sold or both. That means your volume's high. So, but if low volume is kind of a bad situation, because let's say you have shares that you want to sell, but the volume's so low that you can't sell them all because nobody wants to buy them. So I recommend getting stocks that have high volume. You kind of rule of thumb is like 400,000 volume average over, I think that's over the course of a day. Well, anyways, another reason why volume is important is, like, let's say that the price of stock has been going up and up and up, but the volume is really low. I mean, it's really kind of tells you that, one strategy says if the volume is low and low and low and the price is going up, that it's kind of a false price and it will come back down. So people study like the volume. The volume's low and the price has gone up, it's going to come down, and so that they'll predict that it's going to come down. So just So what the volume weighted average price does is it kind of merges the volume and the price together with the formula, and it says, hey, this is what's really happening, taking into account of both price and volume. So on the top part here, hopefully you can see my arrow. There's a green line and a purple line, and the green line is the normal standard VWAP line that comes with the Think or Swim program. And the purple line is Toby's special VWAP algorithm. And what I wanted to show is that the purple line is more pronounced. It gives you better indications of what's going on because, and this is how it works. Here's the price of the stock, and the VWAP, in this case both VWAPs, Toby's and the normal one, above the price. So that means tomorrow we're going to predict that the price is going to go up because here's the dashed line. That's the end of one day, beginning of the next. So sure enough, tomorrow the price goes up. The next day, again, the price is below the two VWAPs and the price goes up. But here you can see that the green VWAP is close to the price. It's not as pronounced. Well, let's go to third day. Third day, the prices, the normal VWAP green line is right on the price. So you can't tell is it going to go up or is it going to go down. But the Toby VWAP is above it, so you notice that the next day the price goes up. Unfortunately, my examples didn't give any examples of the opposite where the price was above the VWAP, but same principle works. And the second one, I really want. This is at a 5-minute price candles. The one above here was like hourly price candles, but it works for both. And you can see the prices down here. The next day the price goes up. VWAP is very important. There's some YouTube videos out there that say that the brokers that are selling lots and lots, hundreds of thousands of shares, use VWAP, to make their decisions. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is true, makes it even more important. I guess that's it. For indicators, again, I want to emphasize that the 5 reasons that I do this, I think in my strategy, I'm going to write this in my program. If they're physics based, I use 7 indicators. I have my own unique VWAP, and each indicator, it's not. I don't just use the indicator that people use. I look at it from an engineering point of view, and look at all sorts of different factors and factor that into a final equation for each indicator as to what's going to happen, go up or go down. And then then to avoid the complexity, I take all this data and put all this data into one composite indicator so that you just have to look at it.